Welcome back everyone to another episode of Mumbles. Today, I'm doing another game review. And I'm reviewing a new game that was recently released for Xbox One. That game is FoxyLand. Foxy! Boop, 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 boop. I'm sorry, I get excited sometimes. But we're going to be reviewing FoxyLand today. This game is a platformer with cute foxes in it. The goal of this game is basically to collect the gems in the stage to move on to the next stage. That is what the goal of this game is. And as you'll see, it does it pretty well. So now, let's talk about the graphics in this game. The graphics in this game are pretty good. I like them. They're nothing to write home about it in as much as, you know, it's not Uncharted 4 graphics, but it is very pretty. It's got some nice bright colors to it, and it's very pretty. The soundtrack of this game is, there's not a lot to it. That is one thing that I wish they would have added more to. I wish it was a little bit more soundtrack to it, but that is okay. Now the controls. The controls in this game work for the most part very well. There's nothing really bad about them, but I will caution you in advance, this game is difficult. So mastering the controls is key. So now that we've talked about the graphics and the soundtrack and the controls, let's get into the real heart of this game, the gameplay and the story. Now the story of this game is very simple. You have a foxy lady wife, and one day something comes out of the sky and steals her. Now you're on a mission, you must get her back. That's your wife or your girlfriend, whatever it is. That is your lady. You gotta go get her. So you set off on a journey to do that. That is the story of this game. And it's one of those games, you know, it's kind of one of those mindless games. And I don't mean to call it that, but that's what it is. Where, you know, you've got a goal and you're going to do it. And you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. Think of it as like what is a good example? Like a Candy Crunch, where you know the objective, you know you're going to get there, so do it. That is kind of what this game is. And it actually is a mobile game. It is on phones, so you can check it out there. So think of it in that kind of a sense. Now that we've talked about all that, let's talk about the cons to this game. First off, the difficulty. This game is hard. It will kick your butt. You have to be precise as heck. When there are spikes on the walls, if you get an inch too close, life lost. When you fall into spikes, you will lose some of your cherries or fruit that you've collected that can give you points to buy things. 3 hits and you're dead. There are enemies that are jumping all the time, and the only way to kill them is by jumping on them. So it's kind of a Mario type inspired game, but it's FoxyLand. And the difficulty in this game is intense, because there's no real, like, at least in the opening levels, there's no real power-ups or anything. So do keep that in mind, the difficulty. Second off, it is kind of repetitive. This game can get repetitive at times, and that's just how a game like this is going to be. It is a, you know, you can only go up ladders and get things and get gems so many times before you're like, I need a break. And that is it. The game is kind of repetitive. The game is also rather short, so it does not have a long length and does not have a lot of replayability. Once you beat it, you're probably not going to go back and play it again. So, the question that you're all asking here is, Mumbles, now that you've pretty much given us everything that you want to say, what's it going to get on your Mumbles review? Well guys, this game gets a 6 out of 10. And I'll tell you why. It just needed a little bit more. It needed a little bit more story. It needed a little bit more, you know, different things going on in the environment. It needed a little bit more, you know, move sets. It needed a little bit more things to do. It needed a little bit more, it just needed a little bit more of everything. A little bit more story, a little bit more, a little bit less difficulty, a little bit more, less repetitiveness. All that stuff that I've mentioned before, it just needed a combination of a little bit more of that, and it could be, you know, 7 or an 8 game, but it is a 6 game in its current state. It is still a very fun game. If you like Mario type platformers, you know the type that I'm talking about, you can see it in the video, you're gonna like this game. It is a very fun game, but if you're asking if it's a, you know, an Xbox One title, this is more of a phone title. If this was a game on my phone, it would be a totally different story. But I'm reviewing this on Xbox One, so I have to review it to Xbox One standards. That's why it's getting a 6 here. If I were to review it on the phone, this game would easily get a 7. Easily. Easily. Because it's made that way. It's made to be a great cell phone game. But I have to compare it to all these other great titles on the Xbox One. So in its current state, it gets a 6 out of 10. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Mumbles. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack that like button, smack all those buttons. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.